Hi everyone, welcome back. This is episode 2 of the Scratch Basics tutorials, and this tutorial today is going to be covering how to place new characters and how to place in backgrounds, as well as how to make your own character and background and how to edit existing ones. So there's a little bit going on today, and the first thing I want you to make sure that you've done is open up ScratchJr, and you should be on this screen right here. If you're on any of the other screens, make sure you come back. You should remember how to do that from the last lesson, and come back and be on this screen. And then the first thing we're going to do is come down to the home button as per usual, and we're going to click on it. And then this time, instead of making a new project, we're going to open the project that we had started last time. So in my case, it's project 1. In your case, you might have other projects in here from other people, or you might have been mucking around with it yourself. So find the project that we left last time. So mine is project 1. I'm going to click on that. And then here you go. Here is the answer to your challenge question. Now, if I run my code up here by clicking the green flag, we'll see that Scratch the Cat is going to go 16 steps to the right, 10 steps up, 16 steps to the left, and then 10 steps down. So let's see if we've made it all the way around the scene without chopping any part of Scratch the Cat off. Let's have a look. There we go, that looks pretty good to me. Now then, before we get onto the backgrounds and the characters, let's just come down here to our coding area and have a look at this code to make sure that you did it in the most efficient way possible. Because the last thing we want to do is to do extra work. So, let's have a look. So we went 16 spaces to the right, and then we went 10 spaces up. And you could have worked those out separately, that's fine. And then, the left direction and the down direction are just mirroring the right direction and the up direction. So left and right are both 16, and up and down are both 10. So you only had to figure out one of these and then just put it into the opposite box, and then that would have worked perfectly. You didn't have to figure out each one, and if you did, you spent a little bit of extra time. So when I leave you with today's challenge, just think about that. If you can do something a little bit easier, I encourage you to do that. So now let's move on to the backgrounds. So drag up this code that we've done and put it up there. A little whoosh sound, it's gone. And now we're going to try inserting a background. So come up the top here to this little picture frame with the mountains and the blue sky and the cloud, and click on that. And here you can see a whole lot of different backgrounds. Just click on one and then come up here to the tick button and press that. I've chosen the beach because I love the beach, and there it is. We've got a background, simple as that. But let's say I wanted this sand here to be a different color, or this water to be a different color, or maybe I wanted the scene to be nighttime. We can change all of those things. So come back up to the background button and press on that. And now come down to the background that you selected before. So here's the beach again. I'll click on that once. And now instead of pressing the tick, we're going to press the paintbrush tool. So let's click on that. And now we have a little bit of a picture editor. So there's some tools here on the right, and the tool that I want you to focus on today is this paint bucket tool. So click on the paint bucket tool and you'll see that the button for it turns orange, and that's how you know that we're using it. So press that once, and then I want you to pick a color. Let's pick your favorite color. Mine is blue. So I'm going to pick a nice dark blue because this scene already has a lot of blue in it. And then I'm going to come up into my background and I'll press somewhere, and there you go. It changes the color of the sky when I click here. If I wanted to change the color of the sand, maybe to a darker color because now it's not so bright, I could do that. Maybe I will choose, this doesn't look too bad. I'll come down to here. Oh, there we go. You can see that it can be a little bit fiddly. It kind of depends on where you click. Sometimes it messes up, and if yours messes up and you're not happy with it, you can come to the top left here and click on this back button, or the undo button. So I can press that, and you can press it again. If you go back too far, you can come over and press on this arrow here and it will redo the last action. So I can put that sand back in. And now I'm just going to change the color of the water maybe to a darker color. There we go. I'm pretty happy with that. It looks pretty good. So as you can see, you can just go through, select different colors and click in different areas of the background and it will change the colors for you. So you can edit it however you want it to look, which is pretty wonderful. When you're happy with it, you can come up to the tick here and press that. And there we go. We've got our brand new colored background. How cool is that? Now there's one other thing that we're going to look at today with backgrounds, and that's creating your very own background from scratch. Scratch in ScratchJr, how funny. Come up to, sorry, that was terrible. Come up to this border up here again, the background border, and click on it. And then instead of selecting a background from in here, we're actually going to click on this blank one up here just once. And then click on the paintbrush tool again, not the tick, or you'll go back to the coding area in the scene. We want to click on the paintbrush. And now we have a blank canvas to work with. Now unfortunately I'm doing these tutorials on the computer, so where I draw isn't really working on this properly. You'll see in a moment. But what you need to focus on are these tools here on the left. So this squiggly line thing over here, if I click on that, it lets me draw like this all over the place, kind of like you would in Paint on the computer, or it's kind of just like drawing on a piece of paper with a pen. If I click on this circle over here and I click and I drag, I can actually drag out a pretty nice looking circle. If I click on the square tool, I can drag out a square, and if I click on the triangle, you guessed it, I can make a triangle. Fantastic. I'm just going to undo all of that by pressing this little arrow up here again, because it's looking very messy. And the other really important thing are these lines under here, and these let you change the thickness of your line. So if I wanted a really thick square, I can press on this thickest line down here and I can drag it out, and there's a nice thick looking square. How good is that? So I'm going to let you create a background. Now you can see that when I draw, it doesn't really line up properly with my mouse. That's just because I'm using it on a computer. But you can draw a background, and again, you can use a paint bucket tool down here as well to fill in some shapes like this. That looks pretty awesome, I think. I'm just going to press the tick because I'm not going to go any further, but you spend some time and make a nice looking background. You can always pause the video and come back when you're done. So I'll press the tick. There we go. What a lovely background. And now the next thing that's really, really important for ScratchJr is characters. And at the moment, the only character we have here is Scratch the cat. And you can see Scratch the cat here on the left as well. We're actually going to delete Scratch the cat. And you can do that in two ways. So the first way is to hold your finger down, and you need to keep your finger really still. If you move it around or wobble it around, this won't work. So you need to put your finger on top of Scratch the cat and press down and keep holding until a little red cross comes up like this, and he wobbles around a bit. There you go. So I could click on this X now and I could delete Scratch the cat, and that's what I want you to do. But there is another way to delete a character as well. So I'm just going to click off of Scratch the cat and he's back to normal. You can also delete a character from this side over here, and it's the exact same thing. I'm just going to hold my mouse on top of the picture of Scratch the cat over here. There we go, and I can delete him. So I'm going to delete Scratch the cat. Gone. And you'll see now the coding area is completely blank. We can't place any blocks because there's nothing to place code into. So we need a character to put code into. So we're going to press on this plus button up here, and there's so many different characters in ScratchJr. You can scroll with your finger down the page, just like this. And I'm just going to select any old character. Where is a nice ocean animal? I'm going to choose this crab here, and then I'm going to click on the tick. And you can see now that the coding blocks are back because we now have a character to put code inside. And you can see that the character's portrait is here in the coding area, so that we know if I put blocks down in here, I'm putting code into the crab character and no other character. I'm just going to delete the crab now, so you can either do it by holding your finger down on the character in the scene or holding your finger down on the character in the menu over here. I'll do it on the scene this time. There we go. And now I'll show you how you can edit a character. So it's the exact same thing as the background, so I'll click on the crab again. I'll click on the paintbrush, not the tick, and you can see I can go through with the paint bucket tool and I can change the color of the crab. Ooh, that looks pretty cool. There we go. Again, my mouse is being a bit funny, but you kind of get the idea. I'm going to undo that. I quite like it with the yellow outline. And then you can also draw extra things onto your character. So if I wanted this crab to have hair, again, this isn't going to work because I'm on the computer and it's a bit wonky. Maybe I can try and figure it out. Maybe if I put the mouse down here, I can draw a little afro on this crab. I think that looks pretty good. I better close it off a bit. No, I think that looks great. So I've put some hair on this crab. You can add whatever you would like to your character, and then when you're finished, come up and press the tick. And there we go. I have a little afro crab now. We can move him around with our finger, same as last time. And now if you are not fully happy with your character once he's in your scene and you want to change something again, you don't have to delete this particular character and then redo the whole thing. You can come up to the top here and click on the paintbrush that's next to your character, and it will come back to this editing screen. So you can go back and forth from your work area to this editing area whenever you want, and then when you're finished and happy with your work, you press the tick. And so that pretty much wraps it up, but here is my challenge for you. I'm just going to delete this crab. I would like you to draw your very own character without using one of these templates. So come up to this blank sheet here, click on the paintbrush, and you can go ahead and draw your very own character in here. Good luck. I'll see you next time.